Hey folks, Carl here and welcome to episode 10 of Revell's Colonial Viper Mark II. Okay folks, so we have just finished the engine pods and we'll zoom in a little bit. Wrong way. We'll zoom in a little bit. You can see there's a little bit of colour variation in there. Don't know how well you're going to pick up the purples in there. And all as we have done, I'll zoom back out a bit, you can still see the colours here in the palette, they're still a little bit wet. We started off with this colour, which was red, blue and a little bit of chrome silver mixed in there to give us a metallic look, and that was brushed on at the base here and effectively dry brushed out. We let that dry and then we mixed a little bit extra red. We took a bit of this into here, added a little bit of extra red, and we dry brushed around the middle, and then we just took the chrome silver on its own and dry brushed the tips of the engine and the internals. So that is the engine part done. We now got to brush some stuff in here, and I'll probably just go over with some black, some of the copper and a little bit of the metal, and that will be that done. So I'm going to go get that done and we'll be back in a moment. Okay folks, so we have finished adding some of the detail to the back of there, and all we've used is the metallic grey and the copper, and it's now glued into place with the engine in there as well. So this is now prepped completely ready for a gloss coat. So we'll be doing that shortly, and the diode itself is now getting a little bit more grass onto it. We've now completely surrounded the figure with grass. There's still little bits more to put in. We've got some grass up the top here and we're filling out here, and then we need to come across and put some more around this area. So if I tilt this, let's take these off, put them out of the way. If I tilt this up, you'll be able to see a little bit better where the grass is. So as you can see, we've surrounded the figure now. This is still a little bit wet, so these will come away if I pull on them, so I'm not going to really touch them. So that's where we are with the reeds at the moment. Of course they're all the same length at the moment, so we're going to start, once it's dry, we'll start trimming and shortening some of that are closer to the shore, things like that. So just a little quick update of where we're at. So I'm going to carry on getting more grass down, and we'll get the Viper itself gloss coated, and I shall be back in a moment. Okay folks, that is the base done and all the reeds in place. Now the majority of the reeds are over this side, but we've got a few dotted coming over here. So if I tilt this up, you should be able to see where the reeds are. So we've just got a few here, a few bits and pieces around here, up here. And of course the mass majority here, and the man hiding in amongst the thickest part of the reeds near this shoreline here. And what we've been doing, we've been going around with a pair of scissors, and we've been very gently, if I tilt this up, just going at these and angling the scissors to trim these down and make them all different lengths, like so. And just trimming little bits off and making them all different, so they're not all a regular height. So that is the diorama finished. Now we're about to put the Viper into gloss coat. So just here now, all finished, and we've filled in the engine pods with the metallic grey and a bit of copper there, and we've also gone and filled in black inside there. Now I couldn't get the paintbrush in there, so what we did is we got a dripper, put a little bit of paint in there, and we just put the dripper inside and just dripped some paint inside, and then moved it around to spread it out, and it worked quite well. So this is now ready for gloss and the final little bit of weathering, and this build is coming closely to an end. So I'm going to go get that gloss coated, and then we'll be back to do some weathering. Okay folks, the gloss varnish is now dry after 24 hours, and we have started to apply some oils. The plan is to gunk wash. Gunk wash means we'll take our oil, nice stubby little old brush, and we completely cover the model with oil, literally gunk it all over. It stays on the model 5-10 minutes, and then we literally just wipe it off with a cloth, and whatever's left behind is our gunk. After that, the plan would be to do some dot streaking, where effectively we take a fine brush, get the oil, put dots where we think there would be streaks on the Viper, leave that to dry for a few minutes, and then slowly wipe it away with the brush that's got a little bit of thinners on it. Odorless thinners preferably. If you haven't normal thinners, do just make sure you're in a well ventilated space, or wearing a mask, or even sit in your booth and have your extractor on. Now we've done the wing already, so I'm going to zoom you in if I don't knock the camera all over the place. So we started off with a gunk wash all over the model, left it 5 to 10 minutes, we wiped it off, and it left all the oil in all these recesses here, on the bottom underneath. I then gone and added some streaking to the top. You can see we've done one here, and here, and we did another little one here, but that washed away and it didn't stay on. Oh, actually no, yeah, there it is. I thought that was something else, but yeah, it stayed on. And all we did there was we put the little tiny little dots on. We put a dot there, 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 and one right on the wingtip there. Left it for 10 minutes. We've got a slightly bigger brush like this. Dipped it in our terps, dried it off so it was almost dry, and then we just wipe the dot along until it's the length you want. You then dip your brush again, get it a little bit wetter, and then you just clear it up on the edges. So that is the wing done. Now the sad thing with oils is this is going to take several days to dry, 5 at least to dry off before we can do anything else with it. And I plan to add a little bit of dust or something like that on there. So we'll add another layer to this streaking with some dusts and things like that. Powders, shall we say. So that is the wing done. So we will put that to one side. We'll zoom back out. Always the wrong way. So my brushes have been cleaned up. And the oil we're using is Attila 502 Starship Filth. And the next step is to do the Viper itself. So I recommend wearing a glove on at least one hand, the hand that you're handling it with, because then it doesn't matter if you smudge it about and get it all over the place. So I'm just going to do this wing for now to show you what I mean. So take an oil, take our stubby brush, don't need a huge amount, just get a little bit on your brush like so, and then you literally just soak the model in oil. We'll do the gun as well while we're here. So this stuff goes a long way when doing this, a really long way. Don't need to add too much, you literally just want to make sure the whole thing is covered. In all the crooks and nannies. Let's get rid of this base for now. A little bit off the top. There's loads on that. And now that that is all covered, I am going to brush it so it's all travelling in the same direction. I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but it seems to. I want it going backwards. Probably the normal state for this to travel is that way, so we want it going that way. So we are going to leave that 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'll get my brushes and stuff cleaned up and we'll be back in a moment. Okay folks, that's been about 6 or 7 minutes and we're about ready to, wipe this off. So just an old rag, cloth, old t-shirt, anything like that, and we are literally just going to start wiping this away, following the direction that we want. So we are literally going to be moving near enough all of it, and in the nooks it will leave the oil in there. There's a little bit left in there, get it off underneath. Same again, wipe it away. Clean bit of cloth. Now it's going to be difficult to get into that bit, so we're going to get a little stubby brush like this, just an old tidy one. I'm going to get in there with a brush and brush it out. And we can wipe off any excess that's come out. Like so. So, there we go. Gunk wash. So now we're going to do the pin wash. I shan't put anything on the underside because we're not going to see it. And all we're doing is we're getting a reasonably fine tip brush, getting our oil, and we are literally just going to get a little bit on the tip. And we're going to decide where we want the streaks. So I'm going to want one here, same as on the other wing, because this looks like a point where the wind would catch. Flip it over, so we're just going to put a dot of oil. Like so, we'll put another one on the tip here, and we'll bring it down this edge, and pick another random spot. Eeny, meeny, miny, we'll get one just there, maybe another one just there. So we'll leave that for a few minutes. Don't need to leave it as long as the gunk wash. Just clean this brush, get the oil off it. Let's get our brush, it's a little bit bigger. Wet it in some turpentine, dry the brush off, not so it's bone dry, but so it's reasonably dry. And all we're going to do, in fact, we'll take this off here and we'll see if we can zoom you in a little bit. Oh, I got the right way. And then we're literally just going to take this dot, we're just going to brush it like so. That's all we're going to do. It might look a little bit messy now. Keep cleaning our brush, taking away the excess from the sides. The other side. This one as well. To wet our brush again. It's dried out a bit too much. Oh. So all this will clean up. Keep working at it. this one stretched out as well, and this one here. Switch brush, something a little bit finer. Dry as well. Keep working, taking bits away each time. You will get there eventually, and this oil's not going to dry out very quickly. Get a rag and we're going to take out all that that's in there that's extra, not on camera, so we'll take all that out extra there in the middle. I've probably done most of that off camera. So, that is, I'm going to get rid of that one completely. So, there we go, a couple of streaks, one at the top here, and there, and one there. So that is that wing done. Now we need to do the rest of the Viper itself. So we've got that wing, and we have that wing. Not identical, but pretty close. So I am going to go and do the rest of this model. I'll take a little bit more off here because it has spread out a bit. There we go. That is that. Done. Oh. There we go. So we've got, at the moment we've got the streaks from where we did the chipping, and now we've got going to get these oil streaks. So we'll be doing the same on these engine pods. I'll be putting some streaks in along the side, on the tail, same with the other side, and of course on the nose, down the side, and at the back of here there'll be some streaks as well. So I'm going to go away and get this done. Shouldn't take too long, an hour or so, and we'll be back as soon as it's done. Okay folks, that is the gunk wash on the whole ship done. Now a little side effect from doing that is, as we were brushing down, we've obviously taken off the streaks we've done there, so we're going to have to redo those. Now obviously I'm going to add those back to a similar place where we had them before. Now there are a few obvious places where there'd be some streak marks. We've got thruster points here, here, and on the nose as well there, so we're going to definitely be streaking those. I'm going to put some streaks behind where the engines are, here and here. We'll probably do a few random streaks down the sides of the nose and on these engine pods as well. So I'm going to leave that to settle for a little while, because I've literally just finished wiping it down. The oil has for the most part come off, but it's sitting quite nicely in some of the recesses on the nose. I've still got to clean the actual nose out as well. Engine pods are done. So we've got, let's make the detail a little bit better in here. I don't know whether the camera's going to pick that up, and inside there as well. And it's made the inside there a little bit dirty as well. So, like I say, I'm going to clean out this nose with the brush because we can't get in there with the rag. So, it's literally just get the brush in there, give it a swirl out, pick up as much of that oil in there as you can, clean the brush, rinse and repeat till you get it to the point that you want it. But what we'll do is, I think, just clean that nose back up. And there we go, gunk wash done. It's filled in all down here quite nicely as well, inside these gaps. I made it actually look quite grimy and dirty, so quite pleased with that. The other side is done as well. You can see a bit more detail on the other side. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that. Oh, like I say, I'm going to leave that 20 odd minutes just to settle down, get all my brushes clean, and then we'll do the streaking. And I've already shown you how I do it, so I'm not going to come back and show you that. So we'll get that done, and we'll come back and show you where we've streaked. And then we've got the long wait of 4 or 5 days while this stuff dries. Thankfully this stuff is designed for models, so it's not quite as oily, so it wouldn't take as long to dry as, say, an artist oil like this. This would definitely take 5 days plus to dry. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay folks, that is the diorama finished. I'm still going around and pulling off bits of stray reeds that have come away. For the most part that is now, well, that is now done. We have just matte varnished the Viper, so it's still a little bit wet, but it's starting to dull down quite nicely. Once that is dry, we will break off the canopy and get the tape off that. So that is as good as done. The wing as well, that's still a little bit wet, so it does look a little bit shiny still. The underside is almost dry, so this is going to be placed in here. And what we're going to do is, we've got our Tamiya diorama texture paint, soil effect, which we used for the soil in this, and we're going to fill this groove in here, and then we're going to push the wing into it, and then we'll probably run a little bit down on here and fix the Viper into place, and that will be us done. So give this a few hours to dry and the Viper to dry, and then we'll get it into place. Okay folks, so the Viper is now dry, so we have taken the masking tape from the canopy. It's come out okay, nothing major, so turned out pretty good. So this is going to sit somewhere around here on this rock, like so. The Viper itself is also dry, so, and a pretty good matte finish, and that is going to sit around about there. And of course we have the wing, which is going to be going in to that slot there. So we need to fill this slot out because there's quite a big gap, so we're going to get this stuff out of the way. And we have our Tamiya soil effects. It's quite runny because I have thinned it out a little bit, and all we're going to do is we're going to pour and fill this hole. So very carefully, and there we go. Cocktail stick and spread that out a bit like so. It looks a slightly different colour, but it will match up once it dries. we are just going to push this into place so it overflows and all that stuff. There we go. Done. And the dog's just seen someone walking past the house, so he's off it again. So now, do I put some mud down here to fix this viper in place, or do we just leave it sitting and resting? I think I'm going to leave it sitting like that, because if we ever want to take it anywhere, it'll be easier to take this off and wrap it up separately so we don't snap anything or damage anything if it gets a bump. So get that lid back on there. We are going to drop the canopy back in place right there. So that is Revell's Colonial Viper crashed, completed. So I'm going to let this bit here dry out because it'll sink a little when it dries. I'm then going to take some beauty shots, as they say, and that is this done. So pictures will follow after this. As always, thank you for watching. Be good, be safe, and as always, keep making models, and we will see you in the next build. Ta-ta!